welcome to the One Up Podcast. I am your host, El Caballo, aka Tony. Here with my co-host and nearest and dearest in the building. Got my dog DJ Doey Fresh. Muted like always. He's on the mute game.
Telling you, he's got microphone challenges.
Mute gang.
Also in the building, the bald one, the great one, Pucho.
What's going on, my brother? Or should I say?
Ew, that's classic shit.
I had y'all all confused.
I was confused. I was like, yo, is this mic fucked up? Like, also, not in the building, but here in spirit, the Texas one without a gun, Mateo. Guys, I do have a problem here. I did watch the PlayStation Showcase, and I don't know how to feel about this Metal Gear remake. The 1, the 2, the 3 to the 4. Because, well, they're not doing a remake of the 1, 2, and 3, but they're releasing it, supposedly. Are you guys excited for that? Playing Metal Gear 4 again?
I don't think 4 is coming out.
It is a remake.
No.
3.
Oh, it's 3? Are you sure? Isn't the one with the bandana? Hold on, no, get me right. Isn't the one with the bandana 4?
Every Metal Gear game has a bandana, Tony.
No, this one I
It
know
is the
specifically.
staple of Snake's characters.
No, this one specifically is because with the bandana you get the infinite glitch. When you put it on, isn't it?
Oh my God, this conversation is causing so much pain.
How?
There's no infinite glitch. In Metal Gear Solid 1, you get a bandana that gives you infinite ammo.
There you go, infinite. Oh, it's Metal Gear 1. I thought it was way recent.
Metal Gear Solid 1 to be more specific. For the real Metal Gear fans out there, they'll flame me for that because Metal Gear 1 is a different game. Yeah, they're remaking Metal Gear Solid 3, the Snake Eater, which takes place in the 60s, Cold War, Big Boss. Yeah, I'm hyped. Weird, it's called Metal Gear Delta. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is the subtitle. I'm like,
I wonder where the Delta comes from. Maybe it's like a remake
everybody's
thing?
like, it's funny because Delta is the 4th letter of the alphabet in Greek or whatever. So it's like, is it Metal Gear 4? Blah, blah. I think it's a triangle. It has 3 sides, 3 points, whatever. I think it's just another way to call it 3 without having the number 3, because there's going to be some number of people that are going to not want to buy the game because they're like, do I got to play 1 and 2? I think it's just a marketing thing. But I'm interested if there's a deeper reason why they changed the name.
It says here, the reason was because the symbol has fits the concept of the remake project. That's why they chose Delta, the triangle.
It's the most Japanese. I don't know what that means. It fits the theme of the remake project. I don't.
The PlayStation Showcase, according to Konami spokesperson, was chosen because the meaning that symbols has fits the concept of the remake project.
You know what happens when they remake 2, right?
What? Bring back the classic.
That's what happens.
I'm hyped for it. All right. I don't know if people could tell. I'm a big Metal Gear fan since I was 8 years old, right? Loved the series my whole life. I'm bummed out Kojima's not going to be involved in it. As far as we know, it's pretty clear. It's pretty obvious he's not going to be involved in it. And so, yeah, I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest. Like, I am excited. Part of me is like, how much is Konami going to botch this without Kojima? And then, like, in a remake, they claimed, in one sense, they're like, we're going to reimagine the game. And then in another thing they tweeted or they put, we're going to recreate all the scenes from the original game faithfully. And I'm like, those are two opposite statements. And so it's like, I don't want an HD version of Metal Gear Solid 3, to be honest. Like, I would prefer if they took some liberties with the remake. They changed some scenes. I'd be totally cool with that. Like,
yeah. I don't want the same.
And it's also cool because this game chronologically takes place as the earliest game in the series. So if they remake this one, they could change the game in such a way where they could spawn like an alternate timeline and start making all the games all over again and just make them as different as they want them to be, you know?
I think without Kojima, that might be a little difficult.
Sure, yeah, I don't disagree. But if you look at other things where like say look at George Lucas, for example, right? When his ex-wife was involved and he had one of his partners, they made the 3 incredible Star Wars movies that we all know and love. And then later, George Lucas was given full control over the project, and he made 3 terrible movies, in my opinion. And it's not the first time something like that's happening. Like when Kojima allegedly got way more control with Metal Gear 5, and you ended up getting Metal Gear 5, which probably the best gameplay in the series, but obviously the worst Metal Gear game in terms of like the things that make Metal Gear. So it's like, I don't know. I think there's a balance, right? And so I don't know. Who knows how much Kojima is the reason why those games are good? You know?
Dang, that's a hot one.
I think they have enough groundwork laid out for them to make something faithful.
I don't know, that last Metal Gear that they did, that you and Pucho played. What was it?
Horrible.
What was it? Survive. Ugh, terrible.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I beat the entire game. I was pretty good.
Yeah, Doi actually really liked it.
Did you platinum it?
No.
Oh.
No, the game is like way too grindy.
Oh,
the map
okay.
is like massive. You got to find all these things, these collectibles, and then you got to like beat all. Like it's just so much. There's just way too much content there. To you got to dedicate a lot of time to platinum that. And then I think there's a multiplayer component.
Another sad thing that came from it, right, is that Naughty Dog dropped the ball again. Where the fuck is Last of Us 2 multiplayer? Where is it? Why is it being slowed down to work on other meaningless projects that no one gives a damn about?
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, we have a new IP coming out." I'm like, "Bitch, I don't want that.
Exactly.
That's not what I want. I want my multiplayer for Last of Us." I was super disappointed when I saw that, and to hear that they took people out of that production staff to put them in other places while they rethink what the game is. Apparently, they had Bungie, the people who made Destiny 2, come over and look at the multiplayer component, and Bungie just, I guess they were what's it called when they come over and they give you advice and shit like that? Consulting. Yeah, they consulted them and they told them that if this is what they want to put out, they're going to have to rethink their strategy for the game because the game is not, I guess, not meant to it doesn't have a lot of longevity.
Wow.
And I guess, they want to make it into a game that you could play for a very long time.
I think it's
for
funny
years.
that Destiny is people who like Bungie is the ones that came over and said that. I mean, yeah, their game has been, the multiplayer has been being played, consistently by fans, but to be honest, I don't think that's someone to, I don't know, take advice from, I guess. Destiny's just too repetitive for me, I guess. I don't know. I don't like it. That's why I stopped
but
playing
it depends what type of game Naughty Dog's actually making. Because they made it really clear, this is not this is like a spiritual successor to Factions. It's not going to be no 4v4. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that it's going to be like a way bigger, like maybe like a live thing where there's going to be a whole bunch of people playing. You could do like co-op type things. Like it felt like this is its own game almost. And it's happens to be all multiplayer. So yeah, maybe the Destiny's people have some idea. They got their single player is like a multiplayer game with all those like raids and hunts and obviously it's online co-op and things like that. But
I also like how Pucho played me in the messenger when I mentioned Project Q. He's like, "You're the only one interested in that." I was like, "Dang."
I want it. I'm definitely gonna.
I feel like
I stand by my statement. So, you guys are the only 2 people on planet Earth.
It's went up one.
No, sure, yeah. There's 2 of you guys now.
I think it's
There's
interesting. Like, okay, so So what is this, like a competitor to Switch now?
Isn't your exact comment that Project Q ... I need to get that. That sounds like you're hyped. Like, I don't know. Don't hit me with.
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
hyped.
Those
You
are my
need it?
those are my words.
I need that. Hopefully the screen is good. Hopefully, I mean, it looks like it's gonna have all the PS5 controller features. The only problem is that controller stuck to the screen or not? Because once that controller goes bad, what happens? You know what I mean? Like once that shit starts getting stick drift, what's gonna happen? You know what I mean?
Supposedly
Like,
yeah. That with the new Elite controller that they got for PS, you can swap those out. So I'm assuming that would have that feature for you to be able to swap it out. I would hope.
yeah. I'm excited because I already use remote play on my when I go on vacation. Anytime I'm out anywhere, and even at my job, I use remote play with my iPad.
How good is that though? Like, is it
Great. As long as you have a stable internet connection, you're good to go. It's gotten so much better, which is why I'm hyped for it.
Yeah, I don't use remote play at all because I got the Switch. It's just like,
yeah. I love it. And now that it's going to be more portable and stuff like that, maybe you get a little hotspot action on your phone. You get enough speed to play. It'd be cool. It'd be nice. I am interested.
yeah, I think it'll be good. People like Pucho don't seem too interested. in it.
Hopefully they put a SIM card in there and you could get some sort of cell phone service on there. That would be cool.
Didn't
I
the
paid for that.
Vita? No, was it the Vita?
The Vita, the first
Vita
Vita
had it,
had
right?
cell phone service, and you could play multiplayer games over it. It was like actual cell phone service. Yeah, it was wild.
Vita was ahead of its time.
Yeah, it was very ahead of its time. That's the danger of being too ahead of the like this podcast is too ahead. In 10 years from now, they're gonna look at us and be like, "Man, look at what these guys were doing. It's fucking so ahead of their time."
I don't know, man. The idea of this like always online console that you don't have internet, you just can't use it.
We're moving.
Your PlayStation has to be unoccupied. If your kid is at home playing PlayStation and you whip out your device to play, it just won't work. Like, these are questions that I have, and if it works the way that remote play works right now, I'm not spending a couple $100s on something like this. Like, I'm not the target audience. So you guys may be. That's cool, but
you really think your kids will be playing your PlayStation while you guys are all gone on a trip?
What do you mean by gone on a trip?
Well, because you're worried about someone else using it.
When you leave the house.
Yeah. You're going to be leaving the house. I guess that might be a problem.
I mean, I do work trips sometimes. I do mancations, as some people call them. We're going to go to PAX. Like, people are going to be in my house. I'm going to be the one leaving. I'm just saying that, like, in those circumstances, if I can't use this couple $100 device that I paid for, it's useless. Like, right? Like, I don't know. But I acknowledge that there may be more details to come that'll change my mind. But it seems to just be a device that connects to my PlayStation at home. So I don't know.
Also, what I didn't understand, our biggest complaint with PlayStation is the headset not being Bluetooth. They finally coming out with earbuds that would be Bluetooth. Why not come out with a headset that's a Bluetooth? I am sick of this little piece of little thing that I have to plug into the PlayStation when it has Bluetooth capabilities. Like, I never really understood that.
The dongle's not my biggest complaint. I just don't like headsets like that.
I don't know.
I got this shit. I play with earbuds when I sit on the couch.
So the earbuds
I
might be a thing for
getting
you.
them earbuds.
The earbuds look cool. I'm definitely copping the
Because
earbuds.
with kids running around the crib and shit like that, I be having to have 1 ear on, 1 ear off. I be playing games with cinematic experiences with one earbud in my ear. It's like it's subpar. It's a subpar experience. I don't lie, but it's the experience I have. My 1-year-old is sleeping over there and shit, and there's like I got these tower speakers that I can't even push to the limit because I got babies sleeping in the house. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's subpar all around.
Isn't it better to get them used to sound? Like
there's a
loud noises
difference.
and stuff like that?
I think there's levels to it. Like you want like my kid has been in a room sleeping with all of us making noise and stuff like that, and it's been fine. But if it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you got gunshots coming out of your living room, if your kid wakes up, you're not going to be like, damn, I wish I got him used to sound. No, you're going to be pissed right then and there that you're going to go AFK, probably get booted from that online match, probably spend the next 20, 30 minutes trying to get this kid back to sleep. Then you're going to run back to the living room. Your boys ain't even around anymore. It's like the whole thing is ruined. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, You do the one earbud on, one earbud off. Joey tells me I be echoing, I be unplugging, replugging. You know what I mean? I got my own problems, but you know.
I jumped into a game of Chivalry the other day, and I forgot that I had my volume at Bar Rescue Taffer levels, like in the 80s. Bro, those battle cries, my grandma was like, "What is that? Who's yelling like that?"
And Chivalry, they be wilding with the screams. There's a scream button in that game. You could just push a button to scream.
Just to scream. Yeah. Yo, so I don't know how true it is. I'm hoping it's just like one of these little fake things. But Jimmy Butler being Jordan's son. Have you guys heard of this? So no,
it's not what? No,
it's a joke for sure. But I'm saying like.
Well, you just asked if it was true.
Tony, have you heard?
To me, I'm believing it. I'm believing that it's a joke, but maybe there could be. There could be.
Oh.
There's some resemblance. There's some.
Tony,
just a little bit.
Tony, have you heard that Jordan shaved his head bald because of Onyx?
That is true.
Is it true? I've heard people say this, and by people, I mean
Onyx.
Fredro Starr.
Fredro Starr from Onyx. I've heard him say this. Basically, Fredro made it so cool to be bald that Michael Jordan shaved his head bald. I think the more likely is that Tupac. He was just balding, but
I think it was Tupac.
It was Tupac.
Real twits.
Nah, Jordan went bald before Tupac was relevant.
Yeah, I don't even think Jordan likes rap music like that.
And I think Tupac had hair when he came out. He didn't shave his head bald. I don't think he shaved bald till he was doing all the West Coast shit.
People were saying that Jordan's not from this planet because his eyeballs are always yellow. They never change colors. I've never noticed it until someone said it. And I go back to look at pictures. There ain't no white. It's all yellow for sure. It's weird.
You remember the movie Juice?
Yes.
Where Tupac shaved his hair to look like his name was Bishop, but he also shaved the haircut he had look like the Bishop.
Yeah, but nobody knew that until someone made a Twitter post last week about that. Because that's one of my all-time favorite movies. And when I saw that Twitter post, my mind was literally destructed. Yeah. And thank you for reminding me. I got to text that picture to my brother because there's no way he peeped this either. But yeah, it's like a chess piece. The Bishop has like that part in it, like a piece of it's like missing. His hair is cut the exact same way. I was like, that is so dumb and so clever at the same time. Because the haircut looks cool.
It looks good.
It's silly that he would do it like a chess piece because his name is Bishop. But it's also like a way to give an iconic haircut to an iconic character. You know what I mean? Like that haircut is forever Bishop from Juice. I've never seen anybody with that haircut. Like,
dang.
That's also top tier Tupac movie. He was on Demon Time in that movie, bro. He goes from being best friends to murdering his.
He killed everybody. Like he was like, I'm killing everybody in this shit.
That scene when he gets in the elevator with him and they look. Omar Epps is looking at him and he's looking at him and he's like, "What, you gonna shoot me inside this elevator?" Takes out a gun. Shooting him.
Were you gonna shoot me in this elevator with all these people in it? There were like 20 people in the elevator. So you know what? You just gave me that idea. Just might. Like,
yeah, he was on Demon Time, bro.
Know who's on Demon Time? The Celtics. That's who's on Demon Time.
I think we need to get into the first topic.
Yeah, right.
Them Tupac movies. You ever watch Above the Rim?
Never.
He was on Demon Time in that movie too.
Really?
He wasn't fucking around in Above.
He's a good actor, man.
Sure. Also,
and yeah, Poetic Justice. I wasn't not that wasn't my bad.
That movie wasn't that good. Me personally, I don't like it. But yeah,
they said that he was supposed to be in Menace to Society. He was supposed to be like the kid who shot the Asian people in the beginning of the movie. I feel bad for your mother. That kid. He said, what about my mama? He was supposed to be Tupac. But Tupac died.
In the comedy or the real movie?
The real movie.
I see.
Yeah, Tupac was supposed to play that role.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, for our first topics, ladies and gentlemen, Twitter's been going crazy about this whole Gabrielle Union explaining that Dwayne Wade and her split the bills. House bills, car bills, everything's 50-50 down the middle. And Black Twitter's been saying, yo, I would rather pay all the bills than split an ounce of any bills with my husband. I don't find it strange, but dope.
Why don't you find this strange? What does that mean?
I don't find it strange that they're splitting the bills. I'm agreeing with Wade.
Well, then, I think it's a completely normal thing to do, and I think everyone is kind of showing their cards and showing how ass they are of people. Like, I'm like, yo, you're just a piece of shit. The shit that people have been saying, like what you just said. There was a woman who said, I would rather pay my own bills and be single than have to split the bill with someone. And they're like, what? Like, that don't even make sense.
My problem to that too is like, so what? So Gabrielle's just living free? Wade's paying all the bills? She doesn't have to pay not an ounce? That's crazy. Why? Like, what's the point of having a relationship? We're all screaming 50-50 women's rights. Let's be 50-50, stop being sexist. But this is the most sexist comment I've ever heard in my life. I don't want to pay no bills if I'm with my husband. He needs to pay them all. It's a little outrageous.
I find it interesting that a lot of the people that have these opinions be unmarried, single as hell, or just like kind of dating around. These are people that don't seem to have that many life experiences. Like, of course, there's women out there. There's couples out there. If it works for them, then by all means. If they want to do the whole thing where only the man is making the bread and only the man is paying the bills, like, do what you got to do. But this idea that it's absurd that, you know, people are both going to pay into this relationship equally, I don't know. I don't know. It seems ridiculous that anybody would find this absurd. It is interesting that it's like people be so quick to be all on their feminist bag, like women having all these rights to all this stuff, which is beautiful, right? I support all that shit. But then on the flip side, be like, you got a dick, then you got to pay the bills. Like, damn, when did we turn into red pillars? Like, I thought we was on our feminist bag. Like, I don't know. It just seems funny to me, like the contradiction. But
no, yeah, for sure. Like, it's just like you can't have it both ways, ladies. You either want to be the housewife and do all the cooking and cleaning and all this, and we pay all the bills, or we're splitting duties down the middle like you also want. It's not a win-win situation here. Like, there's nothing. This is a point proven. There's nothing that can make some people happy sometimes. You know what I mean?
I've even said I want a traditional marriage, but then I thought about it and I'm like, I would much rather be splitting the bills with the person I'm with than having to foot the whole bill. So even I had to check myself. I'm like, damn, do I really want a traditional marriage with one of these people who expects the man to pay for everything? I'm like, I don't know. It kind of opened my eyes a little bit. There was I like the memeage that is coming out from this. What was the polygamy one, Bush?
It was a dude holding, he had two girls, and he was just like, 3 incomes never look so good. And then somebody quote tweeted that picture. Yo, they're sharing dicks and they're splitting bills? Question mark. Yeah, the tweets are hilarious. Yeah. and I love that it's like shit that ain't even related. Like I'm just kind of scrolling Twitter on this feed. There's a video of some woman going mad hard dancing on this man, and he turns to the side. He's like, he mouths, "Yo, this bitch stinks." Like he's mouthing that, like, and then someone quote tweeted that shit. Because first they're gonna say it's his fault that her pH balance is off, and he's gonna get criticized for splitting the bills. And it's like, what? The bills had nothing to do with this video. Like,
I love Black Twitter. They can't take anything serious. First
there's
of all,
shit
they
like
take
this.
it too serious, and they're not
Look,
enough.
look at this tweet. She said this girl had a date scheduled with a guy, right? And the guy called her to remind her they were splitting the bills.
Damn.
Super weird move, by the way. I would never call someone to be like, "Yo, by the way, we're splitting the bill." And then she put, "I don't mind splitting bills, but why you had to tell me?" I blocked his ass. The fuck you mean? If you're broke, talking about you broke, and then she blocked him. And then I'm just curious. I clicked on her profile. It says she's a medical student and she writes back end and machine learning code. So she's a programmer and she's about to be a doctor and shit. And she's like, so she's gonna have bread, or she got some amount of bread, and she out here criticizing like I don't know. It just seems like you don't need anybody to you don't need anybody to pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny how even when people got it like that, they are still entitled to that. They'll be with a broke dude, right? You could have some, from her point of view, she could be a doctor and then she could be dating some guy. I don't mean to say broke. I ain't trying to judge nobody's life. But if you got like a lesser income, the expectation is still that she's going to get to keep all her doctor money, and he's going to have to he been working at the car wash or something, and he got to fork over all the bills for her. It feels weird to me. Like,
yeah. I think a lot of people want things to be convenient when they're convenient. And I think, unfortunately, the double standards in this case are they're really fucking to the extremes. I actually have no problem paying for the date. The problem is when they just expect you to, you know what I mean, go on. For me, if I'm taking you out, it's because I like you and I want to go out with you. I know a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I want to go out, but just as friends." I'm like, I don't want to go out just as friends. I'm like, I'm good off that. We don't have to go out to eat then. I was like, I'll take that back.
I mean, I'll go out with people just as friends, but you're gonna get
splitting
friend
the
treatment. I ain't splitting shit. I'm paying for my shit. You paying for your shit. We gonna have separate bills, all right? We ain't sharing shit. We ain't sharing touches. Like, nah. You stay in your lane. I'm gonna stay in my lane. Just like I treat all my other friends. I ain't splitting the bill when I go out with Tony. Tony pays for his shit. I'm gonna pay for my shit. Yeah, keep that eyebrow up. He want to sit there eating onion rings, getting tater tots. He wants corn dogs, and all I'm eating is wings and beer, and now we got to split the bill? Nah, I'm going to pay for my shit. You can pay for your shit.
To an extent, I think that's reasonable. But if we're all only drinking, yeah, I don't mind us splitting the bill. Why not? We're all going to take shots. We're all going to drink
10
our beers.
shots!
It just, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't want to pay for anybody's bill if it's only mine. My significant other, we can split bills. Like, it's very simple. Like, anybody who's been in a relationship for a long time knows that there's benefits to splitting bills for both parties. Why does only one person have to literally pay everything, take you out, and then now you're sitting there with your usage of your money being gone, and there's just stack up? It's weird and selfish, I would say. For those of you on their Twitter saying, "Oh, I'd rather pay all my bills," that's probably why you're single. You're not down to meet 50-50. That's a problem. That's a problem. And those would be the first people or first group of women that'd be like, this is sexist. We need equal rights, equal opportunity. Word. So let's take turns taking out the trash. Let's take turns doing things since, 50-50 doesn't work or 100% to 0% doesn't work.
I see a lot of men willing to change and willing to change the manscape, whatever, you know what I mean, the masculinity landscape. And I see very few women willing to do the same. And I think it's disappointing. I feel like that we should both be willing to disengage from the patriarchy. That like, I just think a lot of people benefit from it. So when you're losing out, now you're like, oh, now these new rules kind of suck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like the old rules, and I don't know. I just find it that if it's convenient for people, they'll keep those toxic parts, those toxic traits, but still call for like advancement. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be able to do that. You should be able to call for advancement no matter what. But I just think they're half in, half out. And this could be a man or a woman. I've seen men saying if another man takes them out, they gotta pay, shit like that. So it's like whoever feels like the less dominant person in the relationship, I guess feels like they should have their stuff paid for. If the person is chasing you, then they should be paying for you. But I've never in my entire life, I've mostly always paid. A woman has never paid for me.
The worst are the ones who expect it automatically. Like if a whole bunch of us are going out together and you're like, yo, we're all going out, you should link up with us too. Like we're all chilling. But, all right, cool, I'll meet y'all out there. You go there, eat, and then they're looking at you like, oh, you paying for me? What? Nah, you paying for yourself. You got your own job. Like why would I be paying for you? Like
I would have asked you when you called. I would have been like, yo, I don't got any money.
That's different. That's different. Yeah, that's different. But I'm saying you're all sitting there at a bar and then you're already ordering food and you're like, yo, you paying for this? Nah, who says I'm paying for that? Like, you bugged out. Like it doesn't like there ain't no.
And I'm cool with paying for my boy's drinks and stuff like that once or twice. And like, you know what I mean? It has to be spread out. But I don't mind paying for like drinks with my boys and stuff like that if my boys like don't got it at that moment.
It's not even about boy. It's just in general, family, friends, cousin. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Like it's just people automatically assume like, yeah, he's gonna pay for me. Like, nah, I've never been that type of person. Anytime I go out with you, first off, if I'm saying I don't got it, I ain't going out. Second of all, if I do go out, it's because I'm expecting to pay my own bill. You should. No one in this world should go out with people and think that someone else is gonna pay for your bill. Like if you don't got money, bro. Ask somebody. If you do have money and you just expecting people to pay for you, you're bugging. Don't go out, my boy. Just stay home and relax. Like, do whatever else because, I don't know. I just never been that type of person.
People got to be doing something really fun for me to be like, I'm about to go out into them streets broke as a joke and ask one of my friends to cover my bill or something like. Like, if I ain't got money, I just stay my ass at home. You know what I'm saying?
Even our broke days, we used to, when we were kids, we'd go out and stuff, like, splitting meals or whatever. Like, yo, we'll put half in or get a pizza together. You know what I mean? Like, that's reasonable. Hey,
split a Chinese meal into 3 and shit? Like,
well, those 10-piece wings be crazy. Like, yeah, that's a big meal. But no, yeah. This whole sexist, feminist all this bull crap that'd be out there, and then when it comes time to split things up,
is it sexist for women to want men to pay the bills? Is that sexist?
Yeah, 100%. And whoever says that doesn't, if you comment on this part of the video, you're bugging.
And maybe sexist is a harsh thing
right?
to label it, but it's definitely a benefit that women are receiving due to what people call the patriarchy, right?
Yeah. And
that's a disadvantage that men have. Men have to pay into that. And but both sexes get certain benefits from the status quo. and they also both get certain disadvantages, right?
Disadvantages.
And so yeah, people are like, let's change some of those things so that it could be a little bit more balanced. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like somebody who ain't willing to pay split a bill ain't somebody I'm trying to even be around. So like, it's kind of good these people are like so brazen with that opinion, because this is a person I'm just not even gonna not entertain romantically, but this is somebody I don't even want to be around. Like, I don't even find you a person I want in my vicinity. Like, so I'll just get different friends or find different people to be attracted to or whatever. Like, I'm so straight off of, like, could you imagine trying to share a life with the person who's on some, nah, you gotta, there's people on here legitimately saying, nah, a man needs to go out there and get 7 jobs to buy the things that I want. Huh? The hell? That shit is crazy. That's like, who raised you? I want to meet that person, because that's the problem. Somebody raised your ass wrong.
Facts. Those are big facts. No one should ever think like that at all. Matter of fact, Pooch, in your relationship, how long did it take for you guys to actually come up with just splitting certain bills? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, after you bought the house, before you bought the house, or out of college, before college, like, where, at what point of your relationship did you both sit like, okay, we'll just equally split bills here and there? Like, you know what I mean?
Pretty much day one. Like, I mean, when me and my wife, my girlfriend at the time, were together, we were both broke. So, like, we already knew what the deal was. So we're always just trying to do the cheapest things, trying to save money, all that type of stuff. And of course, I used to pay a lot because I was, I wanted her to feel pampered, or, all those types of feelings. But we moved into a place together when we were 19. When we were 19 years old, we started splitting bills that day. Like, we got rent, we splitting this shit. We both got jobs. Like, she had way more money than I did back then. You know what I'm saying? She had thousands of dollars in her bank account when we were because she had worked from like junior high school all the way through like her first year of college. She saved like every single dime. And so yeah, she helped me a ton, bro, because like that money helped us live. It helped us move to when I went to Orlando to go to the university here. There was an amount of money that she was covering for me because I couldn't afford to live. You know what I'm saying? And because of that help, right, that made me better because I graduated, I get paid well, all that type of shit. And it's like, I view it like, if you're gonna get with somebody who ain't willing to invest in a relationship, then you know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of relationship you gonna get? Like, and I'm not saying no woman should be out there mandatorily like obligated to help her boyfriend or whatever do anything. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what relationships are gonna work out and stuff like that. Like, you can only put so much skin in the game. You put too much, you're gonna get burnt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you can't put no skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody gonna take you seriously. You ain't never gonna get what you want like that. Like,
yeah. Shit, yeah. You're right about that.
But anyways, my bad, Tony. Yeah, pretty much day one we were splitting bills.
No, and I think that's normal too. Like, you start off early. You know what I mean? It's not something that to be embarrassed about. Like, a lot of people probably take that into consideration, but nah, it's just, that's an adult thing to do. Like, not one person should do everything, right?
My wife had the opposite toxic trait where she was like, ain't no man paying shit for me. Like, she didn't want nobody to pay nothing for her. Because she didn't want nobody to ever feel like they got one on her or something like that.
Damn.
Which was to my benefit, because I would not have been happy paying for all types of shit. And she ain't even like, she ain't no girl that want mad new shoes, purses,
like high
jewelry,
maintenance?
things like not high maintenance at all. So it's like, even if I did have to pay, I wouldn't have felt like crazy, because I already know 90% of the things we're paying into are just obligations to live, you know? But yeah, they be people out here, they want a new coach every quarter. And it's like, ain't getting it, you need an extra job. Get 7 jobs and 2 side hustles. We need 7 jobs and 3 side hustles right now. Or this relationship is over.
I'll be feeling like that's every city girl though. Like, so I don't know, man. Any girl in the city.
My wife is a city girl. What you talking about?
Like what city? Not Lake Worth.
She has only lived in cities. What is a city girl to you?
Like an NY chick from Manhattan or something, a family from Manhattan or one of those nicer areas who are just all in about designer and the new thing every year. They have to have the new next best thing like that.
I think from money is a key there because even when we were in Palm Beach, we knew girls or people that lived in nicer areas and they had nicer shit. And they were just more high maintenance than the other women that were around, you know?
The high maintenance girls come from high maintenance families, I guess. But that's all a bad thing, though? Do you think that that's like giving your kids everything they want, almost spoiling?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong. I think people tend to date and be, like, at their level. So you got rich people, they're going to tend to hook up with rich people. You're not going to be finding no girl from a rich family dating the cat, like a dude who flips burgers at McDonald's. Like, it don't really work out. They might not even be in the same circles to even meet. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily wrong that somebody likes what they like. I think it's wrong if somebody's like, yeah, if you're not providing all these like random shit, then this isn't a relationship. Feels more like you're not in this for your feelings and stuff like that. You have these material desires that are far more important than attraction or whatever bond you have with a person. For me, it's like, all right, if you into Coach way more than you're into just hanging out with me and stuff, then I don't even like you. Like, this ain't even interesting. Like,
well, for our next topics, ladies and gentlemen, overcoming fears. There's many ways to overcome fears, and then there's the way that I think it's best. Tony's approach, or the Caballo's approach. We all have fears. I think Do, one of your fears is heights, right?
Yeah, I'm scared of heights.
What do you think is the best way to overcome those?
I've been on, I think I don't know about overcoming. I've gone on roller coasters and I've been okay. You know what I mean? I'll still be scared of heights. What I am scared of is like a cliff just there and then thousands of feet down, a bridge and someone is sitting on like the brick part and their legs are over, and that shit scares me. Like, that type of stuff makes me very anxious. My brother loved to do shit like that, and it would just make me so anxious. So like, yeah, going on a roof and looking down, scary. So like if niggas, so like you remember if in The Last of Us, that plank of wood going across the building, that shit would be very scary for me to do.
Yeah, I've never thought of myself as a person who has had like a fear of heights, but there have been a few situations in my life where I've been near the edge and felt extreme anxiety. And then I'm like, okay, maybe it's not a fear of heights, but it's like maybe being in maybe knowing I could fall to my death at a moment's notice is actually what I'm afraid of. Like, because being on a roller coaster doesn't bother me. Like, I feel relatively safe on a roller coaster, right? Like, I'm all strapped in, all this stuff. I don't think anything's going to go wrong. But like one night we were at this hotel partying and stuff. And one of the people we were with was like, yo, let's go to the roof. And we all went to the roof. The roof was supposed to be locked, but it was open. We went up. This was not a vibe. This roof was not a place to chill. It was like a scene from Final Destination waiting to happen. Like, and it was like, there weren't even walls on this roof. Like, it was like a little curb. I'm like, someone's going to trip over that curb and just fall 12 stories and die. Like, and people were like looking off the edge and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, tripping. I walked a little bit close and I felt anxious. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get to the center of this roof and just chill. Like, yeah. At some point I was like, yo, y'all can stay here. If y'all fall, I don't even want to see this shit.
Yeah.
I'm getting out of here. Like,
So it's more of the anxious part that creates the fear, I would assume then.
I mean, I've also seen somebody jump from a building and die, and that was also. So I've seen what happens. It's fucked. It's so fucked.
Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, as a kid, I was afraid of the dark. So it was weird too, because the way I guess I overcame it was just forcing myself to sleep in the dark, forcing myself to walk around the house in the dark, just kind of like get over it. And that fear came from my piece of shit uncles waiting for me to lay down in bed, just jump out of the closet with fucking mask on and shit, scaring the shit out of me as a kid. Like that comes from them. You know what I mean? So like then growing up, obviously getting over that, heights became a fear. And I think honestly the best way to do it is just jump out of a plane a couple times, get used to the sense of the fall, I guess. I think if you just do it multiple times or you do something a couple times, you'll build this confidence up that, you know what, I am not afraid of heights anymore. And I don't know. And I think that it's all mental for sure, right? But
I climbed up a tree once.
you fell?
And I couldn't get down. I was so scared. I was so scared. I got on the big ass branch, and yo, this shit was only like 6 or 5 feet in the air, but I was mortified. I was like, I was petrified, bro. I was like 6 or 7 years old.
What's your fear, Pooch? Yeah, I don't think it's height, right?
I don't really have. I'm scared of a lot of things, I guess. Like, if I see a dog in the street, I've never been a person who's been like, mad, petrified of dogs. There's people like that are like, ah! But when I see a dog, I'm cautious. I'm like, I don't know if this dog's going to do anything crazy. Like, if I see a dog in the street, I don't want that dog to see me. And when I was younger, I had bigger fears of dogs. I remember there was this corner. My house was landlocked by dogs, like when I moved to Florida, right? So I had one area. The easiest place to go to my house through was this area where there was a dog out on the yard every single day, a big ass Rottweiler on a chain, and you would be walking and then the dog will just start sprinting at you, and the only thing stopping it would be the chain, bro. And that shit used to scare me like every single day. I remember my first day of school, I saw the dog, so I went mad wide, and then Flat, right? Flat was with me, right? Flat had been living on this block. He was like, yo, Pooch. Like, he was trying to get my attention. And I was just so fixated on the dog right in front of me that I didn't even peep. There's 2 massive Rottweilers to my left on the other side of the street. So then there were these dogs there that every day you would walk by, every day they would try to hop the fence. So, like, yo, you were like, in this one corner, there's this dog trying to get at you. So you're like walking in the street, but then these 2 Rottweilers are now trying to jump the fence right here. And that shit was so scary to me. And I could go all the way around the block to come to my crib the other way, but there was like a chow that would be out there also trying to hop a fence. Jesus. That's what I mean by like my crib was like landlocked. And the only way I could like get to my house if I wanted to avoid all dogs is to like cut into somebody's backyard to get into an alley and then jump the fence into my parents' yard and shit. And I'm like, this is terrible. Like, Like that, and I'm not even afraid of dogs. So I can only imagine people that really have a fear of a dog. I was scared of how aggressive these dogs were being. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. I was scared of pit bulls for a long time for that reason. Just everybody in New York makes their pits so aggressive that my uncle used to have a really aggressive pit bull called Blackjack, and he used to chase me around the house, and he knew how to climb a ladder. The dog could climb a ladder.
That's hilarious. So it was just pit bulls, not just dogs, just pit bulls.
Pit bulls and German shepherds. I'm like nervous around those dogs.
Nah. And I mean, those are fears that maybe the Tony way is not the best way for Pooch or you to overcome your dog fears at that age. They can let the dog chase you, let the dog bite you. Like, could you imagine?
I can't wait to your son. Let the dog bite you.
Yeah, right. How is that
You
a
said
viable
this is
excuse?
your way. What is this?
For regular people, not for my son.
For regular people.
For people who don't matter in my life.
I think there are certain fears, and I'm not a psychologist by any means, so I could be telling you.
Also, I am not a
advice.
psychologist either.
I could be giving you horrible advice, but like, I think for certain fears, like I don't know, a fear of there's people that are like scared of spiders or something, right? Even though largely spiders are harmless, they're just afraid of spiders, or people are afraid of, I don't know, any number of things. I would imagine that exposing yourself to that thing you're afraid of will help you deal with that fear instead of like locking, avoiding those things at all costs. Me being afraid of a dog, I'm not actually afraid of a dog. I'm seeing a thing that could kill me and I don't want to get killed. So maybe I'm afraid to die is really my fear in that situation. I don't think exposure is a good, like, just surround yourself by incredibly aggressive and vicious animals to get over your fear. It's like, nah, you're really just putting me in danger. That doesn't really sound like a good idea. But yeah, like my wife has a tremendous fear of cockroaches, like tremendous.
I forgot about that.
And yeah, the other day I had a solid snake of a cockroach in this house. He kept hiding and popping out in different places, like trying to assassinate us. We had like that big ass hurricane or whatever, or like there was this crazy storm the other day, and whenever that happens, there'll be like insects and shit that'll try to get to like dry areas. So you'll end up with like some roaches and stuff. Anytime there's storms and shit, I'll be putting roach sprays on the, like, anywhere that roaches could get in. I'll be finding dead roaches. But I had my wife sprayed this roach and then it flew off and it kept like going to different places around the house until I think the bird spray, the roach spray finally had like got into its system and we found it dead somewhere. But I was like, if you didn't get this thing with that roach spray, it was gonna kill us. Like, this thing had our number. One day there was two roaches got in my crib, bro. It was terrible. And I saw a roach and I was so focused on the roach in front of me that I was like looking at it and I was coming up ready to hit it. And then a roach landed on me from above. I said, oh my God.
No.
Yo, that shit was like, it was a tactic, yo. They drew my attention.
Draw them in.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
The worst are the flying roaches, though. Like, you go to hit it and think you miss and it just flies towards you. That's it. You lost all battle. You lost all grounds. You're out of the house. You're gone. That happened to me a couple times.
It's crazy because if you change the insect to a butterfly, it ain't nothing. It's the fact that I find the roach so disgusting that if it touches me, I might as well be dead. Like, so I feel like if it's flying at me, it's the nastiest thing I could ever deal with because it's gonna touch me. And it's like, in reality, it ain't that serious, you know?
So,
Imagine cockroaches on ice. Big people in big cockroach costumes on the ice.
That's what we need to take my wife to. Exposure for that shit.
The guy go to the supermarket or the pet supermarket or whatever, Pooch, buy a whole bunch of roaches. Come, hey, what's up, Lisi? Bam, just dump it all on
bro.
her. She'll-
Somebody
That
tried
would
to
be evil, bro.
somebody
wouldn't
tried to
talk
tell
to
me
Go ahead.
that they saved a rat the other day. I'm like, bitch, the rat? The things we get exterminators for. It's like the thing we exterminate. She's like, yeah, I saved a rat and its babies. I was like, she's over here
New York?
raising down south.
That's why like the other day y'all were talking about the orca attacks on boats and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody in the chat was like, "Oh yeah, because all these years we've been killing these orcas and all this stuff and almost it sounded like they were saying like
It's our fault.
you know, we've been messing them up for so long. Now they're getting revenge on us. We shouldn't feel no type of way about it." But I'm like, I don't even care about animals. I don't give a damn about no orca. That orca could go fuck himself. Like I don't. Why ain't no? I take a boat out one day all innocent, and an orca tries to kill me. I haven't been killing no orcas. Like, what is this shit?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Also, I know one fear of Pucho that he didn't say.
Good one.
Fun-
Yeah.
fun-
Oh,
Yeah.
All
It
sorts
bothers
of
me.
fun
It bothers
guy.
me less now.
Yeah.
Maybe because of exposure. Every seasonally, these big ass mushrooms will start growing in my yard, and I gotta go and like, you know, get them out of my yard and shit. So I gotta like kick them off and throw them out and stuff. But yeah, for a long period of time, it was a particular video of watching fungus grow into mushrooms and all types of nasty looking shit, but it was like on a time lapse, so it was happening like really fast. It'd be like a little flower would just fucking turn into these gnarly shrooms, and it just gave me the heebie-jeebies watching that shit.
We found this out one night. I think my brother was taking my dog for a walk with Pucho or something like that. And then Pucho comes back in the house and he's like, nah, I can't fuck with this nigga. And all I see is my brother walking up with this. He pulled it out of the ground.
They were massive. He had it like that thick. It was like these big. It was like the Super Mario Brothers movie. It had these big ass shrooms.
This nigga Pucho's like, nah, I'm gonna punch you, Michael. I'm gonna punch you. He's like, don't bring that shit next to me.
It's like getting touched by roaches to me. It's just nasty. I don't want that shit.
that's the same night he put the video of the time
My
lapse
brother
too, right?
tossed him, and he's like, all right, I tossed him.
Nah,
he
he was-
goes inside and immediately starts looking for videos of mush.
But he was also on some fiend shit too. He was like, "Let me pluck those, pull them to the side. I'm gonna Google them and see if we could get high off of them." Like, you know, he was like,
that's
he was
right.
like, "Let me see if these are magic mushrooms." Like he was fucking going onto his like fucking drug websites, or he's like trying to. He was like posting pictures, like, "Will this mushroom get me high?" And people are like, "Nah." Like, he was like, "Fuck!" Like, he tossed the shrooms. Like,
Michael is a character, bro. That man is a character.
When the video came on, Pucho was like, nah, I'm leaving. He got in his car.
No, he stayed there for the whole entirety of the episode.
I think he was
I
about to-
bounced.
You
I
did?
was like, "Fuck that."
I remember
I'm
he
not
was
getting
tearing
subjected
up,
to
bro.
this
This man was tearing up and had like the biggest goosebumps. And I'm just looking at him like, yo, this kid's weird, dude. Like, how is this bothering you? Not knowing he had a fear, but anyways, for our last topic of the day, ladies and gentlemen, at what age do you tend to change your fashionable stance or you change your clothing line? Should old people continuously wear Jordan or any type of Nike shoes, any young person fashion? What's the age gap that you should start saying, okay, time to wear these zapatos, how Doughboy would say?
Zapatos. I've never heard somebody.
That's what he said today earlier.
That is what he said.
And, you know, just stick to your age group of clothing line. I'm going to tell you flat out, I don't think there should be an age gap, but
And also, this kind of goes with age ain't nothing but a number, right? We could kind of add that in there. Some people say age ain't nothing but a number. And some of those people might have arrested development, but
And we're talking
We're here
about
to-
clothing here too. When it says age ain't nothing but a number.
But I also think it's a mind frame. I think when you see a 50, 60-year-old Puerto Rican man and he's still wearing Jordans and fucking just trying to be that version of like 50 Cent from 2005, I think it's like you're holding on to something and you just got to let it go. You're old now. You got to put on some man clothes, okay? Some old man clothes.
I don't think any of that's true. I think you should be able to. Okay,
How do you
can
feel about
flip
how
it.
do you feel about the mothers wearing sexy clothes?
That's what I was
older
just about
women?
to say. You can flip it into that, but then that would sound sexist because then I guess as an older man, I don't even know. I don't. No, matter of fact, no. I think you should be
I don't
able to
know,
wear
bro. If my grandma was rocking
a two
like,
piece.
the like just you know how the chicks nowadays they be rocking just the under boob shirts. It's like if my grandmother was wearing shit like that, I'd be like, yeah, you're playing a young person's game right now. Like,
Your titty's about to fall out, Grandma. I
they're
can't.
probably out if it's that low.
If it's that
It's like I think we need to alter the clothing arrangements that we got going on. Like, I don't know. I don't. I think there's certain things that are more passable than others. Like, I don't know, like an older person still wearing like Jordans and stuff like that. Like, you know, it ain't that serious, but it does look a little funny. Like we are a unique generation of people. Like, just like imagine when you see that 70-year-old man with the jeans that are all like ripped with holes in it, you're gonna find that shit funny, like, because it just we haven't lived with a group of people that dress like that yet. You know, we're not old enough yet, but like our older brothers and our cousins and things like uncles and stuff like that, they may be, and it'll be interesting to see it. Maybe these opinions will change, but I would find it funny. Like, I could picture, like, I got cousins and family members that really are into their shoes and their clothes and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, I could picture certain people in my family being old as hell on the sneakers app trying to hit the latest pair. You know what I mean? Like, I could picture it, but it'll be funny to me. Like, I don't know.
Imagine zapatos.com. got them new zaps. Yo.
I'm not gonna lie. I've seen when it comes to older guys, even like looking at them now, it be Cuban guys in Miami that wear the ripped pants that are super tight with the dad's hat, super glitter shirt, bedazzled, whatever you want to say. And I look at it and I do find it strange. But it's only because they're going hard at it. Like, they're making it a statement. I think if the regular old grandpa comes around or your old uncle comes around and he's got some Jordan 1 lows with some pants and a shirt, I don't find that odd. Do I find it odd that grandma comes around in a two-piece thong bikini? Grandma, what are you doing? Like, think you need to change that up a little bit. No one's trying to see that.
You want to know something crazy?
Ain't nobody trying to. Your granddad probably trying to see that.
Yeah,
Facts.
baby.
You know, the guy who beat up 6ix9ine that's in Palm Beach, somehow I ended up with his wife as a friend. They got married. Yo, this guy's ancient. He's like 50s or in his 60s. The guy who went to go beat up 6ix9ine, he went with a younger guy and then the little kid who was recording. And this dude is like ancient, bro, on some gang banging shit, on some Latin King shit. And I'm like, I guess we gang banging forever now. This nigga is like a grown ass man. I'm like, bro, this is the most hilarious shit ever.
It's a life for people though. People who are, like growing up in the streets and stuff like that. That's all they know.
There was a GoFundMe. Nobody was donating shit for his fucking legal fees. And they're like, that's crazy. He took care of a rat and nobody's taking care of him. And they were like, yo, the Bloods called up. They said that they were going to donate because he did such an honorable thing. And I'm like, so stupid. I was like, bro, how are people like 40, 50 years old? That shit is just weird to me. Like Whack 100, this old ass man who's just like, I'm a blood, I'm rich, and he's still, I got more money than you. And I'm like, God damn, dude. Maybe it's a part of the game. But for me, it's like annoying.
So that's would that classify as an age don't matter thing for them?
I think it has relevancy in this topic. I think the reason why people continue to behave like a young version of themselves is because they feel like they, no matter how old they get, you know what I mean, they still feel young. And I get that.
So,
but I think the way you present yourself to the world is important.
do you think that when it comes to like age and stuff, not just clothing and not just the way you act, but generally speaking, like some people would say, "Oh, you're too old to just be playing video games," or "You're too old to be staying out late at night drinking with your friends and all this." What if all my friends are 40, 50-year-olds with me? Like, is that really an age gap on that? Can you put an age limit? Like, we're fucking 55 years old and we're still playing video games.
I think that's going to be a reality.
But I'm saying, is that a bad thing?
I think people may look at us like, I think we may get looked at like that's just corny. Like these old ass men are still playing video games. But I gotta be honest, it's like, for me, it's like watching movies. We don't criticize people for watching movies. You're just watching a movie. And I think it's more
that's a little different.
More like that for me. It's like people have hobbies and stuff like that. What I do find is that people have less and less good hobbies nowadays. Everybody's just on their phone and they call that like a hobby. And I'm like, that's not a fucking hobby.
I hate is that I see these parents on their TikToks with their kids doing the young kid TikTok things. And I just be looking like, like, nah, you definitely shouldn't be doing that. And then on top of that, the real flip to this, the young kids trying to act like adults.
That's always been a thing.
Yeah,
like, you don't remember when we were 13? You don't remember when we had those little candy cigarettes? Fucking that shit wasn't smoking, but we were thinking we were smoking.
I never did that wave. But no, I never did that. But
you've never eaten the candy cigarettes?
I've eaten it, but I never tried to think I'm smoking that gas.
Yes, no, I haven't.
Everybody did it. I haven't.
Everybody did what?
The little cigarette candies.
Cigarette
candy. Just think smoke it like if it was real smoking.
I've seen Tony going like this to a pack of Smarties so he could go and get one puff of dust
this
off
is
the
insane.
Smarties, bro.
This is insane. Allegations out of here, bro.
That boy said one puff. That says all you're getting out of the Smarties.
That's crazy.
I think that's a bigger problem. It's like little kids thinking that they're grown. And maybe they are grown now because they have more information. But this shit is sickening, if you ask me.
There was a TikTok of this lady or not this lady, but the daughter of this lady that I know. And her daughter's probably like 10 years old, maybe 13. She's got like this hoochie top on with the pants like undone, trying to do dances and stuff. And I'm like, yo, if that was my daughter, man, bow, what you doing? Like,
but you don't feel like I feel like for sometimes we think of this in the wrong way. And I feel like the same way. I'm like, who's creating this sexy clothes for kids? Where are these people? And why are they creating these sexy clothes for kids? And maybe I'm wrong for saying the word sexy. Maybe I'm sexualizing their clothes, right? Maybe that's what's happening. But I have been at water parks And I've seen very young children with like string bikinis, and I'm like, what's going on here? I'm like, this shit
you're
is
not
just
sexualizing it.
Shit is just unacceptable. And maybe I'm wrong for that because I'm sexualizing people's bodies, but I do feel like there's this weird it's just I don't know, for one, why people do it, but I guess, clothing is clothing, and maybe I'm the problem that I'm viewing all of this in that way. But I
don't
do
think you
think
are.
that there is an issue with
I
young.
don't think so, because like I think society has deemed certain clothes to just be sexual, and when you see children doing that stuff, it makes you uncomfortable because you're like,
Exactly.
why is this kid acting in a manner that I would think is like an adult? Like, for
Exactly.
example, there, like, we've all seen women that will wear like a G-string in such a way where you can see that they're wearing a G-string, right?
Yep.
Imagine you saw like a 5th grade girl dressed like that. That shit would be astonishing. You'd be like, what is this? Like, I don't think that would be you necessarily being the one that's sexualizing that person. I think it's like, I think obviously there's some balance there, of course, but I feel like kids doing things that seem adult like is what's troubling, at least for me. Like, I mean, a kid in a 2-piece bikini, I mean, I don't care. That seems fine. But like, yeah, there are. We've all seen the bikinis that are like just like a vertical slit that all it does is cover the nipple. If you saw like a 13-year-old girl like that's gonna be like, dude, like I think you're
Moving too
doing
fast.
too much.
No.
You're too young to be doing these things. All right.
It should be on the parents, though. I mean, if they're doing it, that means the parents think it's okay. Like, I don't think there should be a reason why she should have this small ass top and then her pants like unbuckled and folded downwards just to show that top part of the whatever. I think that's super inappropriate. Like, and then you're posting it online on top of that, like, because
But that's the world they live in now.
I think that's the world their
You know what I
parents
mean?
let them live in. I don't think that's
I don't think you can escape it nowadays, bro. I think these kids are getting phones earlier and earlier and earlier, and they're learning about the world and life earlier and earlier and earlier. And I think you're gonna see a lot of kids that are gonna be exposed to stuff, and then they're gonna try to be older than they are. But you don't agree that that's always been a thing, even in middle school, high school. There's always,
to a certain degree, yeah,
we
that was a
always
thing.
wanted to be older. We always wanted to be grown. Or I can't wait till I'm 18. I can't wait till I'm 21. This shit is not as cracked up as it is to be, bro.
Yeah.
I
No, for
constantly
sure.
tell little children, kids, and teenagers, I'm like, yo, just be a kid, bro. Just be happy being a kid. Just thank the God that you don't have to go to work every day.
Yeah, facts. But yeah, no, I honestly think that there's a way to handle that. You know what I mean? Like age gap between kids, adults, and old people. Yeah, there is certain limits that certain people shouldn't do or shouldn't wear, but I mean, I'll be 50 years old, probably buying some Jordans. Yeah, I mean, I don't
You're gonna
think
be wearing
that's,
the Yeezy slides.
if they have them. Yeah, I'll be an old man wearing chanclas. Yo, there be mad body old people wearing chanclas. That's just how it is. Hispanics are chancla nations. We love flip flops, all sorts. Doesn't matter what it is. Look at Pucho. Pucho had flip flops since he was in the 10th grade. The same ones, paper thin bottoms. Things are disintegrating as he steps. Like, he had them for the longest. They got
What are you talking about?
your little thong flip flops that you used to rock all the way. Those things was disintegrating. With every step, pieces would be falling apart. It's just flip flops ain't going nowhere. I don't think me wearing Jordans at an older age will go anywhere either.
I
How
don't
do
know
you
what this
feel-
story about these flip flops you're inventing is. Since
How do
the
you feel-
10th grade, what are you even talking about?
You had flip flops for the longest period of time, Pucho. These flip flops were like from when you were probably in high school all the way till like you were in Orlando.
I never even owned a pair of flip flops in high school.
Okay, whatever. You had flip flops for such a long period of time that they literally broke on you, and they were just withered down to like bare minimum of fabric. Just saying.
Nah.
How do you feel about the long hair game? Is it especially when you get older, is it a young man's game, or is it old man with long hair cool?
If they have a hairline for it, God bless them.
Usually they don't. And when they get older,
Time to let it go. I don't think you should. If you're old and you're balding, I think you should just go bald 100%. What? Why hold on? I talk about that all the time. Why? What are you holding on to? My dad be like, nothing. I just cut it. Just go bald.
yeah, but your dad has the dad haircut.
Bro, the man's bald like this.
I know, like I know, and then he just grows on the sides.
He needs
That's
to
like
get rid of that. There's
the dad haircut.
That's for
that
dicks.
signifies from very far away that he is A, married, and B, a dad. All right.
No way.
Just pretty sure, yeah.
Like, could you imagine at 55 years old, Pucho says, I'm not doing this bald thing. I'm just doing the side growth. Like, get the fuck
bro.
out of here, bro.
Imagine your dad going to go get a shape up every haircut, and your dad comes back lined up. That shit would look weird, right?
That shit would look so weird.
I don't know. I think the long hair. I'm bald, all right? Largely by choice, all right? This is the pandemic haircut. I had an afro in the middle of the pandemic, and I was like, let me just shave this head bald. I do think the long hair is a young man's game. I think seeing 50, 60-year-old dudes with long-ass dreads and stuff, if it looks good, rock out, by all means. But I think the amount of effort it takes to maintain like a good looking hair when it's long, I think that's young man's energy. And if you could do it in old age, more power to you. But you probably shouldn't do it because you ain't gonna pull it off.
What about that guy that your mom used to know, her friend in Lake Worth, that Chinese guy, or was he Asian? I don't know what, but he had the longest hair.
Oh yeah.
That didn't look weird to us,
Mr.
right?
Wang Ping.
Oh, Pantera.
Pantera.
Did that hair look weird to you? He was definitely in his 50s, 60s probably, right?
He was what I would call a pure dick. Right? Right?
He'll whip his hair off.
So never was more happy when my friend Mookie punched that man in the face. I was like,
what?
Yes.
I never knew this.
Yeah, my mom this is like super
Long
inside,
time
but
ago,
yeah, long time ago. My mom had this boyfriend, super fucked up asshole. He and her were fighting in the alleyway behind my house because I guess my mom didn't want us to hear or see anything. And my friend Mookie was in the other side of the alley across the street with his friends. And then I guess they were making sure my mom was all right. They kind of started looking over. And then the Asian man, Mr. Wang Peng, looked over there and said, hey, what are you N-words looking at? But like the bad N-word. Yeah, and then Mookie was like, oh, I'll give you an N-word. And they took turns punching him in the face because this guy, he was like Homer Simpson, bro. You punch him in the face, he'd go down, and he'd come right back. So they all took turns just knocking him to the ground with punches, and he just kept getting back up. But yeah,
that's crazy.
That was
Yeah, Homer Simpson. I think he beat Mike Tyson in the fight.
Yeah,
purely on how much punishment he could take. So
shit's crazy.
Shout out to Wang Peng.
Wait,
yeah,
Wang Peng. It's a terrible name. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, if you stuck with us to this entirety of this beautiful episode, hit that subscribe button, share, like, and follow. And don't forget, always go one up yourself. Peace.
Let's snap out.
look, guys, I'm John Moran.